Hey, this is Abe.
And this is Alexa.
Welcome back to the Get Out and Enjoy Life podcast, or GOEL.
Today we're talking about our trip to Positano.
So, we originally were in Sorrento, which we talked about in our last podcast, and we had decided to take the bus. So, we got our luggage and walked down the street I think it's about a half mile so to the bus stop.
Yeah.
And we got to the bus stop, found the tickets, paid for them, and they said, go wait over on the right-hand side, which is actually like the left-hand side, but regardless. So,
and there was a line forming already to go to the Amalfi Coast, which is where Positano is. And so we waited in line. We were the only ones with luggage that I noticed.
We were.
And from what I had read on blogs and such, they said that sometimes there's only standing room, and because all the seats are taken. So
we were hoping that we probably wouldn't have to be standing since we got there so early. We got there pretty early. We were going to catch like the next bus out.
And the bus wasn't as small as like the ones on Capri, so we were hoping that there would be space.
It's like an actual city bus size. So we got in line and we waited probably about 20 minutes. The bus pulled up, offloaded, and then kind of just sat there. The driver got out and smoked a cigarette. I mean, they got to take their break, probably use the restroom. And then they started loading the bus. And I had actually gone over to use the restroom, and when I was over there, I overheard one of the ladies talking with the ticket guy that was selling the tickets, and she kept trying to ask, like, how many people can fit on this bus? I need to get to Positano in a certain amount of time to make sure for whatever, and the guy's like, 70 people can fit on the bus. And she's like, okay, well, how many people are in line? And he's like, I don't know.
Yeah, because you actually could get your tickets at where he was, or you could get the tickets nearby.
So they went and counted all the people in line. I don't know how many people were in line, but just to give you an idea, about 70 people can fit on this bus. But there are not 70 seats on this bus.
No.
At all.
So anyways, as we're moving through the line and everybody's getting on, we're like very hopeful, and we step out of the line because we have our luggage and we need to put it under the bus.
Yeah, we get to the guy at the door.
Yeah, at the end. And we tell him, hey, we have luggage, and he takes us over to the other side of the bus, and we put our stuff in. Luckily, there even is storage for luggage.
And there's
a
lot of storage under there, actually.
Yeah, there was a lot of space. I was surprised. And they actually said online that all of those buses have luggage storage. So that's nice. Anyways, we come back, and the guy is stopping the rest of the line so that we can get on. And there's this man who was behind us, like quite a few people. And he is like insisting that he get in front of me to get on the bus, even though he probably didn't see us like go put our luggage around. So he's like, who's this cutting us? And anyways,
but the guy that was managing the line is like, hey, stop! We're gonna let them on.
Stop. He's like, we're letting them on. No, the older man, he hopped onto that bus. He was like, I am getting on this bus, and so he got in front of us, and it was like, okay. And then we got on, standing room only. Yeah. Every single seat taken.
Every single seat was taken. The one actually nice thing that I was surprised by was there actually was overhead storage above the seats.
Yes.
So we were able to put our backpacks up there, which was great. But yeah, we were towards the bus actually was long enough that it had 2 doors on it, and we were past the middle door, past that. Yeah. And they were actually loading people in through that middle door, and it was actually a younger woman and a young girl, probably like 3 or 5, and they just sat them right on the steps right there and then shut the door. So,
and I'm like, that would never fly like at home.
No,
like to sit on a step where somebody would like if there was an emergency you needed to like run out.
So that's the beauty of seeing different countries and traveling. Yeah. But we also were planning to take our Dramamine, and honestly, I haven't looked up how fast Dramamine works. We had the chewable type, and we forgot to take it. We basically chewed it right before as we were in line getting on the bus.
Yes.
But
so we were on the bus. I decided, I was like, I need my headphones in. Like, I was already kind of annoyed with the people in line. I mean, everybody's trying to get on the bus. I get it. Like, everybody's trying to make sure they don't have to wait for the next one, because we also went on a Sunday and the times are a little bit different than kind of the daily buses. There were still quite a few, but there were some periods of time where the bus wouldn't come. So I definitely wanted us to get on an earlier bus. But anyways, I put in my headphones. Abe put in his like earbuds, and
we started our journey.
Listen to music and everything. But let me tell you, that road was so windy. I could literally not even look out the window. I was really hoping to get in the sights because it takes you so high up. You can literally see both. I think you can literally see both sides of the water. You know, because Sorrento's on one side and Positano's on the other.
I was only looking at one side.
And I tried like looking through the front like windshield basically, but that wasn't helping. I literally thought I just was so nauseous.
Yeah.
I didn't know what was gonna happen, and I literally had to just close my eyes for the whole ride.
I kept trying to show you look at these, you know, cool buildings on the side of the cliff, but you weren't having it.
Yeah.
And there were, you know, the bus would make a couple of brief stops here and there. Really, no one got off for the most part. People got on though, and so we crammed more back. And we passed a couple of people that tried waving the bus down, which the bus did not stop. Unless it's a designated stop, it sounds like it doesn't stop.
Yeah.
And we I got pretty nauseous as well and ended up having to not look out the window.
Yeah.
But
unfortunately, I didn't know that.
Yeah, unfortunately. I kept it to myself.
Oh, you didn't share.
And then one of the little, you know, 3 or 5 year old girl that was sitting on the steps, she did not look great. She was like sweating and then
I could barely see over there.
Yeah, I couldn't understand what they were saying. They were speaking a different language. Might have been Italian. And anyway, someone from the back of the bus ended up passing up like a grocery bag so that she could puke in it. I don't think she ended up puking, but we made it to Positano, and actually it was really close to the hostel we're staying in. It's like probably like 5-10 minute walk from the bus station. Yeah. And when I say bus station, this is loosely like it's a stop. It's a stop on the side of the road. So there's no station or anything. I don't actually know where you get your tickets here if we were to go back.
I think you go to the Tabaki, which is like this little like store. I don't even know what you call them. Almost like a convenience store.
Oh, like you can how we did in Capri, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we made it to the hostel. It was, again, there were a lot of steps up to get into the hostel, which we had to carry our bags, which honestly, you know, I've been thinking about the airlines, how they limit only 50 pounds or you pay extra. And that's probably been like a godsend to have our bags not be over 50 pounds.
Oh my gosh, thank goodness. Because going to these towns where you need to roll them on cobblestone streets and you need to like lift them up a bunch of stairs when there's no elevators anywhere. It's been good. I do want to say also, one thing we noticed kind of right away is that the roads and how people drive here is really intense. There's barely a sidewalk. I mean, and if there is, it's very narrow.
It's probably got like a 2-foot shoulder if there is one.
Yeah.
If not, you really have to watch.
You need to pay attention.
You know, the cars, the motorcycles, the mopeds, everything coming down.
They get close to the side. They get close to where you walk.
So we ended up getting into the hostel. We dropped our room wasn't ready yet, so they, you know, locked our luggage for us. And they had mentioned, you know, they gave us quite a bit of information, honestly. And they had mentioned this yogurt place down the road, which they said wasn't very far. It's basically just a turn on the right and we're there. So we went and checked that out.
Yeah, it was super good. I ended up ordering salmon, like avocado toast type thing. And then Abe got this amazing yogurt. It's kind of like a parfait, basically.
Yeah, but in a bowl.
With like kiwi and banana and strawberry and yogurt and granola. Oh my gosh. And it was so good.
And it's frozen. Like, it's almost like...
It's like frozen yogurt.
Yeah, honestly, I'd like to think it's super healthy, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Just because it tastes so good, and it's got like this really like... It's not Greek yogurt. It's a very sweet, almost like a vanilla yogurt back in the United States. But then it's like it is sort of, it's chilled, you could say. It has a thicker consistency, I think, because it's chilled. Because when we're eating it and it starts warming up, it actually melts.
Yeah.
So I almost wonder if it's kind of more like ice cream.
Yeah.
But ended up doing that, and then we had really no clue on how long it was going to take us to get down to the beach, but we had like 4 hours until our room was ready. So we're like, yeah, we'll make our way down that way. And there were a couple of signs pointing us towards the beach. And there were a lot of stairs.
Yes. These stairs are literally no joke. I feel like we're probably in one of the highest points in the city. There's some places that are a little higher up than us, but we're pretty far up there. And you go through all these different pathways, twists and turns.
Past people's houses.
Past people's homes and people's Airbnbs, which I don't even know how some of these people are carrying their luggage up these stairs or down the stairs, because, I mean, if you saw it for yourself, you would be confused too, because the road isn't always close by.
No.
And so, anyways, we made our way down. It probably takes about 15, 20 minutes to walk down all those steps, would you say?
Probably I'd say about 20. It depends on how fast you want to go.
Yes.
Like, we were doing it in the heat of the day, so we would stop in areas of shade.
Yeah, and also the steps are steep. They're not
like regulated steps.
No,
like, not every step
sizes.
is, not the exact same size. So, we ended up making our way down to the beach. And before we got to the beach, we got actually into the actual shop area, which is pretty cute.
It is cute. There's a lot of like, there's pottery, there's dishware, there's clothes, there's food, there's like wine and cheese stores and things like that. Lots of restaurants, lots of people walking, especially in the heat of the day.
Yeah.
So it's very busy. Roads are small. And
I don't really know what way they come back up, because all the ways we've walked, we've been here for about 2.5-ish days, and like we always see cars going down but never coming up back up the road. So there's a road somewhere that they're getting back up. We don't know where it's at though.
Yeah.
But yeah, we made it through these shops, and at this point there's no more stairs. It's just walking along the road edge, basically. And there's sidewalks sometimes, and then you really get into the heart of like all the shops and get down. And there's a little cathedral that we stopped out there, and we went inside, and they actually didn't even have a actual crucifix on there hanging up there. It was
just an image
of
Jesus, basically in like gold.
Yeah, and he was like garbed, I think, as well.
It was a beautiful church.
It was gorgeous.
Yeah. It's probably one of my favorites that we've seen. Yeah. Actually.
They had both speakers again, I think, and
they have church there like every day.
Yeah, as we've been walking.
Yeah.
We've been seeing them do mass. So we made it down to the beach, and it was really hot.
Yeah. And one thing we would kind of wanted to scout out was the beach clubs, because we didn't end up going to the beach while we were in Sorrento. We just decided not to. It is, anywhere from like 30 to 40 euros to just get a chair per person. And so we asked about it. We checked out one beach club. They said it was 35 euros per person. But also, while we were up at our hostel, one of the guys who works here, he told us about a free beach also. So we went to check that out as well. And
over at the free beach, it's right next to it's not even it's dock per se. It's really just the side. It's the side of the drop off of the sidewalk. It doesn't jut out or anything like that into the water. Yeah. And the boats pull up right there. And then they have like how they separate the lanes and pools.
Yeah.
They have that type of rope with the flotation devices on it, and that surrounds the swimming area of the free beach.
Yeah, and basically, There aren't chairs there like there are at the beach club with these big umbrellas or anything. It's literally sand and rocks, and you lay down your blanket and whatever you want to bring to the beach, and that's like your spot for however long you're there.
And then there's a whole bunch of like kayaks and boats, different size boats behind you that they'll pull up through the side of the beach as well.
Probably if you want to rent those,
right?
I'm guessing.
It looks to be that way. And you wanted to get something down there, so you ended up going to the snack bar.
Yeah. Oh yeah. One thing I kept seeing while I was here was these frozen lemons with like a lemon sorbet in it. And so I had been, as we were walking down to the beach, I kept my eye out to see like kind of how much they cost. And I think the most expensive one I saw was like €9.50.
Yeah.
But then it actually ended up being $7 when I went down to the snack bar at the beach. So I'm glad they have that actually, because you could get drinks there or cocktails or, you know, little snacks, ice cream and things like that. So it was delicious.
It was.
I loved
it was like so frozen solid that when you get it actually, like you can't even dig into it.
You can't even lift the top of the lemon off.
It's frozen onto it.
And I had to kind of like carve underneath the top just to like get in there. But it starts melting because it was very hot. I mean, the sun here feels different than even in Sorrento.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure why, but
we ended up sitting down on the side, on the rocks there.
Yeah.
And like, usually like, you know, I had pretty thick pants on, you had to dress. And once you sit down, usually the heat dissipates, but it did not go away. And we ended up having to stand under our one umbrella that we brought.
Yeah.
So thank goodness for that one umbrella.
Yeah.
But we ended up making our way back up and actually did not go back down that day. We were just so worn out. Yeah,
the steps in the heat of the day, it's just not the way to go. It's much easier in the early morning, which is what we've decided to do the last couple of days.
We've been getting up like 6 o'clock probably, you could say, and getting down there by 7:50, 8 o'clock-ish.
Yeah, so basically before the sun comes up over the hill,
right?
It's good to go down there, but once that sun comes out, I mean the heat, it just hits you.
It does.
And at night, it's also not too bad to walk up the stairs.
No.
But you do have to deal with more bugs.
Yeah. So when we went down the first, that second day, that free beach, we ended up dubbing it the People's Beach because there are all sorts of people there, which we absolutely love. It's a great people watching spot.
Yes, there's just some, and actually we went there also today and we saw the same kind of people there. So there were like these two ladies who just love to like sunbathe. They don't really go in the water. And so they're there, and they actually kind of sat in the same place as today. And then there's also this lady, and I was cracking up because she's literally dragging this plastic white chair. You guys know the ones that like people have at like barbecues or like church outings. The ones that
always crack.
Like,
that are always broken.
Yes. And she dragged that chair all the way across the beach to sit in this very specific spot, which I figured out today. I think she sits there because there's some shade. There's like a sign that kind of covers her body.
There's no trees on this beach.
There's no relief.
No relief
basically,
whatsoever.
You need to like bring your own umbrella or something.
People like set up really close to this sign today, but she did not care. Like you said.
She didn't care. She sat back in that same spot with her chair. I'm like, I don't even know where she got that chair from.
Right.
So there was her. I'm trying to think who else. There was a man who looked like he had a pillow around his neck, like a travel pillow.
Right.
And I'm almost thinking it was like a flotation type thing, like while he's in the water, like when he's swimming. And so he had that in the water, and I was like, why does he have this pillow around his neck? But I think it's more for flotation. So
we ended up figuring that out later.
And then there's another guy who has been out there a couple of times, and he really has gotten some sun. I can tell. Like, he has been out there.
The sun is loving him.
Yes. Sun-kissed.
But along with all the people, you have this rope that is supposed to protect like your swimming area there, but like the boats will just, honestly, it's more of like a like a suggestion really to the boats because the boats sometimes drive up over it.
Yes.
Sometimes one just ties off to it and looks like the boat was just floating there. It was a small boat, obviously.
But honestly, during the day while we've been there, I think they're pretty good about not driving into that area at all. But
in the morning, really.
At the end of the day, when they're coming, it's interesting because the boats come so close up to the beach. Like, even these huge boats.
Like, they run their sterns up into the sand, so it, like, holds the boat in place.
And they basically, one of the guys who's on the shore, he'll throw up a hose so they can hose off their boat. And so they just have a whole system going where they know how to, all of these, like, boat drivers, they know how to maneuver in and out of here to quickly, like, hose up their boat and then back out so the next one can come in.
And they'll toss the hose from one boat to the other.
Right. But at that time, they are driving over that line. They don't care who's over there.
Right. So you got to be aware of your surroundings again. But
when we got in the water, it was very cool.
The water was
beautiful. Really refreshing.
Yeah, it was super nice.
I expected that it was going to be warm, but I think with that heat of the sun, it's really nice that it's much colder.
It was great. Yeah, so and that's where the ferries come up and dock as well.
Mm-hmm.
There was one guy out there, they have it's called a multi-service boat. That's what it said on the side of it. Yeah. And I don't know where they're getting all the trash from. That they come up with huge trash bags, glass bags full of glass, like bottles and things. I'm wondering if it's coming off the yachts, if they go around and collect all the trash from the yachts, because there's quite a few yachts out here as well.
I'm guessing so.
Anyway, the inside of his boat is pristine. It's completely white.
It's white.
And we figured out why. He ended up just taking a bottle of OxyClean, that looks like, and just spraying the whole thing down. And I'm like, that can't be good for the ocean.
No.
But, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about that.
Each to their own, I suppose.
Yeah.
But anyway, we ended up staying down there. We ended up, we came up and then went back down later on. And it's super pretty at night.
It's very pretty.
The lights all come on, and they were actually having some sort of holiday here.
Yeah, I think it was maybe to celebrate a saint, but I'm not too sure.
Yeah, so they had a lot of different lights, kind of almost like Christmas light type of things, but in the form of signs.
Yeah.
We ended up making our way back up, grabbed some dinner, and but there were quite a few bugs.
Yeah, lots of bugs. We sat at this pizza place, and it was interesting because, it's getting darker outside, and it felt like they started cutting the lights in different ways, and then they started turning off the lights on the tables because they have kind of this little tiny looking little Pixar type lamp that sits in the middle, and
it's not the hinged one.
It's not just the hinge, but I don't know why I called it that, just because it's kind of tiny and
it's
cute. But it's like a lamp.
Lights,
It almost looks like it has a lampshade on it. But they started turning all the lights off on the tables all of a sudden, and it got much darker. And they're like, oh, it's because the mosquitoes.
Yeah. They don't even look like mosquitoes to me either in the general sense. It might be a different type of mosquito.
Yeah, they look like little flies.
Maybe.
But those things, I swear, every single light as you were walking around the city, they were just swarming those lights.
Yeah, even the store fronts, they had if their lights were on, they were all against the glass.
Yeah. There were so many. I've never seen that many bugs like that.
So we made our way up, and then we ended up going back down again today. Like we said, we saw the same people, but on the way back up today, it's been really hard to get back up these stairs for the last, yesterday and today, and we're always like, oh man, what's pulling us back up these stairs? And it's really that yogurt. We've been getting that yogurt every single day.
For lunch, we've been getting it.
And I was like, I wonder how many stairs there are. So I counted the stairs as we went, and there's about 530 steps. And
that's one way.
One of the ways.
Yeah.
There's a couple of ways to get down there. But that's the combination of doing the road where you have to walk a little bit up the hill, and then taking some of these stairs, or not some, but 530-ish of the stairs. So
it's tiring. It's it's really exhausting.
We got back today around 12 o'clock or so, and we're like thinking we're laying in bed, and we're like just kind of laying on top of the bedspread and stuff, and we're like, oh, it feels like you said 9 o'clock, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it does. You can't go out like during the heat of the day. I mean, you can, but it's so hot. So one of the saving graces with the whole beach actually has been that we brought these collapsible, like they're probably only like 6 inches, like compressed down umbrellas.
Yeah, these umbrellas have literally saved us.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, not just even here in Positano, but like, it really helps shield the sun. Yeah. I mean, and it helps so we don't get like sunburned or anything. I mean, we're wearing sunscreen, but we're sweating and
it just comes
coming off, and but it's been really good to have this.
So, and I figured out at the beach, I was embarrassing Alexa, but I don't know what they're called. You know those stormtrooper like ships, the clone ships that they fly around with? I took one of those umbrellas and attach them together at the poles, and then act like a stormtrooper. But
yeah, and then Abe would just keep going pew pew pew. And I'm like, Abe, stop. Everybody's already looking at us because we have umbrellas.
Probably,
I mean, half those people don't bring umbrellas. No, I'm like, I feel like my skin is literally cooking up there.
That's
how hot it is.
It is so hot. And I ended up using my little fan, which I was so embarrassed to bring.
Yes, Abe did not want to bring a portable, like, little fan to hold in his hand.
Yeah.
And I insisted. I mean, I bought one for myself. You didn't really want one. And then at the end, before we left. A couple
of days before,
you decided you want it, and those have come in handy. We've used them at the beach. I don't know if you've used yours anywhere else, but I've used mine a couple times, and it's really, really helped.
Yeah. So the seafood also here has been amazing. It doesn't really have like a seafood taste, really. It's super light. I assume that's because it's so fresh. But yeah, so we're planning on wrapping up Positano by going out to a pretty nice dinner tonight somewhere down by the beach area. And fortunately, that requires us to walk
more stairs
back down all the 530-ish stairs and then back up. But and then tomorrow we'll catch the ferry out. And we decided to catch the ferry because it's we could do the bus and then the train, but just there's a lot of like kind of almost like not guesswork, but really like it's not just as succinct as you think.
Yeah, you have to time everything out. Well, the reason partially, so we were taking a ferry to Naples, and we are flying up to our next part of our trip.
Yeah.
And
up in Venice.
Yeah, in Venice. And so because we have to take flights and things like that, there's a lot of timing involved with all of this, and because we're not from the area, it's just easier if we can figure out easy ways to get places. So, because we're leaving from the Naples airport, Abe was like, let's just buy ferry tickets to take us straight to Naples.
And it wasn't too bad. It was like, so you have to pay for your luggage as well. I don't know how much that is, but we each have a piece of luggage. Yeah. Backpacks are included. Yeah. And for 2 people, it was like 67 euros.
Which is so worth it, really? To not deal with the hassle think about of figuring out everything.
The train is like 10 euros for us, so it's... but really, we had to hold our luggage on the train, like, in the seating area, and then people are standing, and... It's a great experience, but it's not something that's comfortable, per se.
No, it was tight.
And I felt bad for the people as well, because then you're, like, trying to keep your luggage there.
It's knocking against things. So this is going to be the easiest way for us to get there.
Yeah. So it's I forget how long the ferry ride over is.
She said it's like a total of 2 hours.
2 hours. Okay. It'll be cool to see. We didn't end up doing any boat tours here or spending really any.
We did the ferry, which was nice, but it wasn't a tour.
No, but we were thinking about doing one of the boat tours, but we kind of wanted to save our money to do one of the gondolas in Venice. Yes. So both agreed that.
That's the plan.
Yeah. So thanks for joining us again on Get Out and Enjoy Life for a GOEL podcast.
And we just want to tell you, as we're traveling, we hope you're able to get out and enjoy life in your own way, whether that is going and taking a walk around your neighborhood, getting out to see some friends, just looking out at the scenery around you, or even traveling.
Or going to the mall and people watching.
Sure, we love to do that.
Yeah. So we'll see you on the next episode. By then we'll be in Venice. Yeah. And we'll see you then.
Okay, talk to you later.
Bye.